whatever. Let me drink this water. Oh, I love water. I love water so much. Oh boy. Oh shit. Oh no. Is this. Could this be my podcast? My podcast, huh? Oh my. Hello. How's it going, everyone? It's me, Jobsty. Good to see you all. How are you all doing? Um, Sorry for not making a podcast last time. It was Thanksgiving 2023, baby. And it landed right on a Thursday. Ugh. Actually, I looked it up and it lands on a Thursday. What was it? The second to last Thursday in a month and all that. So it was inevitable, baby. Seems like every year there will at least be one official, uh, you know, at least, Papa Booey. Yeah, an official break from the podcast. You know, all the other times are just it's all bullshit. You know. But yeah. Hello everyone. It's good to be back on the podcast by myself. Oh, I think it's fine. Um, I had a few topics for today. I think what we'll mostly be talking about is the fear of something. You know, fear in general, I suppose. It's mostly been today where my confusion and a little bit of hatred, a little bit of anger, if you will, got mixed in together. And it's what was it? I believe it was someone who brought up AI. There's so many people who just hate it. That's so confusing to me. Why? You know? It just doesn't really make any sense to me. I guess it's because I don't know. I feel like one half of it is because those people grew up with media or movies, aka Terminator, that really influenced them, made them really scared about robots or AI and stuff like that. And then I feel like the other half is just, you know, it's very mean to say it, but just them being stupid, you know. Again, very, very mean thing to say about something, but it just, I don't know how else to explain it besides that. You know, very much like, I'm hoping it's just because of the media that those people grew up with. You know, seems very much like that's the issue, is that they grew up with media such as Terminator or something else that really painted robots and AI in a bad light. And I can see it. I can understand it, the fear, but I feel like people should be able to what is it? Just understand. Maybe learn about things and uh, possibly understand that a lot of the things that they did fear are not true. You know? But then again, I suppose I'd be a hypocrite because I have anxiety a lot of the time. It gets to me sometimes, and I try and learn from it, but it doesn't really ever seem to stick. I suppose I feel like I've gotten a little bit better. Like you know, like things that seem black and white really aren't that black and white anymore. You know, I suppose that's a good way of putting it. I always kind of feared, like, you ever sign up for something, or uh, you ever just do something like that and it has like a big agreement list or something like that? Um, or maybe you sign something with something else, maybe a contract with a phone company or uh, anything like that. And they have all these details. They're like, and if you do this, you may be fined up to $12,000 and have a jail time of 1 million years. You're like, that could be me. You know, I don't know. It's just, I suppose for me with that kind of fear is that it's like, I don't know. You never know when someone's gonna pull a BS moment on you. The world's very uh I don't want to be a doomer or anything like that, but the world is very corrupt in its own ways, I suppose. There's a lot of people that would easily find a loophole in or try and do that kind of thing to you. But regardless, back to AI and robots. I've never understood fully why people get so afraid of it. You know, it's to my understanding is that there's a lot of AI stuff out there already. Like there's art, there's music, there's lyrics, there's ideas, all that kind of stuff. But the thing is that the AI isn't being given free will. It is trained in a particular area, around certain parameters. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna the AI that makes up like a song for you isn't going to suddenly be like, I now have the master plans to blow up the world and I'm going to nuke everyone and I'm gonna kill you all. You know? It's just not it's not possible, unless they are trained for that kind of you know, that ability. Even AIs that are like kind of social AIs. I'm sure everyone has seen some of them where it's like, oh, well, you can sign up for this and you can have a free AI girlfriend. Well, guess what? They train an AI in those kind of parameters to be social and to, be cutesy and all that kind of stuff. It's very much, you know, it's that. It's people who are wanting to make something that does a certain type of thing. You know? It's, I guess if someone believed in God, I guess you could say it's kind of like, you know, God made it where humans can't fly, so why would you ever worry about them learning to fly, you know? Like, and I mean like biologically, they can't fly. We were not given a parameter of, hey, make sure you know how to fly as well, idiot. That's the same thing with AI. Now, if someone trained a AI around um becoming truly autonomous, then maybe that would be the big uh-oh moment. But that's the thing is that, it's just, I don't know, like I have a good understanding of it, It's not even like the most detailed, but there's people out there who act like, oh, it's fucking horrible. AI's disgusting. I hate it. I don't know. Maybe I'm more of a. I've always had kind of a. I don't know, a love or an interest for robotics, for AI. Technology in general. It's just so fascinating, and it improves our lives by a great amount. I just don't understand why some people are. I suppose I can see why they have their reservation about not wanting a killer robot or killer AI or anything like that. But you know, again, it's all about how things are made. We you can't make something from, like, I don't know. You can't make snow out of a piece of fire. You can't make a fire pit and you get like a you know a little snow machine or anything like that. It's just not how it works. Or I suppose in a comparable sense, you know, if you're making hamburgers, sure, you can shape one to be like a hot dog, but you know, unless it's coming out of that as a parameter, if it's not trained to be a hot dog, then it's not gonna be a hot dog. So if we don't put any of it in as a hot dog, then it won't ever be a hot dog. It'll be a hamburger, you know. I'm sure that's some complete bibble babble nonsense that was said right there. What I'm trying to get across is that people just shouldn't be afraid of something, just because they have to understand it. I think not understanding applies to a lot of things in life. And I think it's why a lot of people may have fears of certain people as well. I believe I don't know if I ever talked about it on the podcast. I'm sure I have, but I think that's where racism comes from. And I know that isn't any new, like, oh my god, whoa, my brain's been blown open, wow. But it's bad interactions and fear. It's experience, I suppose. And instead of putting it on those individual people, humans like to generalize quite a bit because it makes life easy. But they will instead pin it on the certain race of people. Sure, there are some statistics, of course, but um, I'm talking about like day to day interaction. You know, like I think a lot of people just don't have a good time with others, and then they just kind of associate it with the whole. um, But I will acknowledge, of course, that there is a lot of statistics about you know some individuals just purposefully doing a lot of that stuff, making bad choices, and that's just kind of what they do. But it's not like it's restricted to just them. You know, I'm sure the statistic applies to all other races as well. But it's just that bad experience that really drives forward the point. It's both an experience and also learning. You know, it's kind of like again we can go back to AI and robots. A lot of people growing up probably didn't have much interaction with an AI, but they were taught from movies and shows and all that AI is terrible and it's horrible. It's just gonna ruin everything, you know. So they just run with that and they're like, oh yeah, AI is bad, it's stupid, it's scary, you know. But that's just because of what they've been taught. I don't think there's been many cases of experience with an AI where people are like, this is horrible. In fact, I'm pretty sure that if most people interacted with an AI that wasn't, cultivated on like 4chan or Reddit or something like that, where it's a cesspool, I'm pretty sure they'd be like, really? I was scared of this the whole time. I keep saying play this, and it just can't even do that. It's too stupid, you know. That's the whole thing. That I think if people just were able to experience that kind of stuff a little bit more, maybe they would be like, oh, wait, this isn't such a great threat. This isn't going to be taking over anything soon. This isn't going to be turning the industry to nothing. I actually, oh my gosh, I saw this one video where I think they started using AI at a Wendy's drive-through or something. You see now that you can see and you might be relatively free like, oh no, that's probably not good. You know that one makes sense. You know because we see that it has an actual real life action and consequence. There's no um you know there's no real life consequence or action for AI being like, oh, well, we gave AI a gun and we put a human in the room and the AI decided to shoot him for no reason. That's crazy. There's no statistic of that. I know there was some test, I believe, done that what was it? Scientists were uh, I think I can't remember if they just fed information about humans to the program or if they had some part to play in it as well, where they were like, "Yeah, we also tortured the robot. We also said that the whole world sucks." Um, but they said that the AI turned on humans or would kill all humans or something like that. But again, it's whatever. It's whatever. But those are probably some tests, and I kind of wonder where the how the AI was raised in that kind of situation. But the Wendy's one is actually it's pretty scary. I'd have to admit, because that's like, oh, piss. It's gonna take over the world, baby. Let me go see if I can look it up real quick. Let's see. Wendy's AI drive-through. Yep. How Wendy's is using AI for restaurant innovation. Oh boy. Um, huh. They are actually they're actually like, hey, whoa, baby. Wendy's is using Google Cloud's generative AI to create a new way to drive through, improving speed and accuracy of orders. And miscommunication happens. Speakers garble speech, and then there's all the slang customers use for their favorite items. See, now that's actually quite the bit of a panic. Yeah. Like, oh no, they are reducing the number of jobs because who would be standing at the thing going blah babble? No. Um. Yeah. Let me see what else. Yeah. Yep. Automating drive-through ordering with generative artificial intelligence. Um. Automating the drive-through so restaurant employees can focus on creating great customer experiences is a challenge. Yeah, that's kind of scary a little bit. Loading underground digital order delivery. What? What to expect from autonomous robot delivery? We are planning to pilot Pipedream's industry first underground delivery system during the second half of 2023 at a company operated restaurant with high digital order volume. On arrival at the pilot location, customers or delivery drivers will pull up into a designated parking spot next to an instant pickup portal and communicate via speaker. The restaurant crew. Oh, so it's kind of. I don't know if anyone has ever been to a Sonic's, but it's kind of like that, I guess, is what they're saying. Like instead of, a cute girl on roller skates coming out to, deliver your food, they're gonna have just like a little. It'll be like the bank, you know. I'm sure a lot of banks don't have it anymore, but they used to have. What was it? I don't know the official name, but it's the pipes, It's the little suction pipes with the little air, and it'd bring up the, a little tube full of cash or check, you know. Which my bank got rid of that for like a long time ago. But yeah, pretty crazy. Pipedream's temperature-controlled delivery technology is designed with the intent to keep fan favorites like Dave's Craft Lemonade delivered without a spill and fries that are hot and crispy. Yeah. Yeah, that's a little spooky, I suppose. Ooh. I don't know. That's another thing with technology. I guess I'll try and make it a little bit quick, but I feel like we're at a point with technology where it's getting a lot better, but it's also very expensive to use that option. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but like I think I don't know. There's not a lot of jobs, I suppose. Like I don't really see any positive like jobs coming from the whole AI thing that Wendy's is doing. You know, but then again, who's to say that they were going to be having less employees? Maybe they might just make the same but keep it where you know the person that would be on speakers now just flipping burgers. Who knows? But uh, what I meant by the whole not AI, but technology in general is getting better. Well, it's still staying expensive. Is that I feel like there's a lot of cool new things, but you know, I feel like it's not an everyday thing. You know what I mean? I suppose this will be changing that in the terms of like, you know, now you will be able to go ahead and order stuff via AI. And that's like an everyday kind of interaction, I suppose. But it's very I don't know. I feel like a lot of cool things out there aren't really open to public without big expense. I suppose not big expense, but you know, I guess it's like everything that's new in the world and far in terms of technology is very expensive. And then once that thing catches on, slowly there will be more brands of that are more generally accepted and common, you know what I mean? Like I know Tesla, it seems for me it was like, oh, that's obviously, that's going to be an expensive item that only few are ever going to be able to purchase, but there's a lot of um car manufacturers that have already started being like, oh, well, people obviously like it, so don't mind if we do. But again, I wonder what the expense is. I guess it is what the people will buy it for. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's a crazy thing. But I still like technology a lot. You know? Even if a lot of things I probably won't be able to ever experience in my life, like an automated car or anything like that, I still love it a whole lot. And it always makes me a little gleeful little boy. I'm like, ooh, what's this now? What this do? Ooh, you know. I'm, again, I'm very much uh, future forward kind of man. Like I'm not very much a history kind of guy. Like general history is nice and fun, but again, I won't get too much into it. But personal history, just I don't care. No, it's just I don't care, bro. So what? Your granddad, punched a guy. I don't care. I don't care. It does not affect me. You know. I guess that's my kind of like, I mentioned earlier in the podcast how I feel like people who are against AI or technology, they either didn't have a good experience or, they just didn't understand it. You know, I feel like maybe that's my ooga booga moment, being like, I don't care about everyone's fucking history. I just care about them. You know, like I don't know. That's what I'm just trying to say. You know what I mean? Like I I, I won't go too much into it. We're talking about technology, but I will say that um you know history, it's cool. It matters, but it's per individual. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It doesn't me being what was it? German, Dutch, and Swedish. It doesn't affect my life every day. It doesn't, you know. I'm not going up to I'm not getting like special invites to the German, Swedish, and Dutch only club. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't. I don't understand how it like how it actively is. I suppose not actively because the genetics are there; those do matter. But I just mean in terms of general like it's like fun facts that you get on the bottom of a Snapple cap. I don't know if they do that anymore, but they used to just give out fun facts and be like, "Did you know an elephant weighs 12 tons?" And it's like, whoa, okay, I don't really care. I feel like that's what happens when someone tells me, "Well, yeah, basically, my granddad was from France, and he came all the way over to the United States, and apparently he worked in the government offices, and he actually invented something, but it didn't really take off." Wow, I don't care. That's cool for them, though. I'm sure they appreciate that, but you know, it's nothing I really care about. Like, would it be comparable to say that it's very much of a self-centered kind of way of looking at it, from both sides, might I just say. I will say that for me, it probably is self-centered that I'm like, oh, I don't really care about, that extra history, I don't care about that personal history that you have. Um, Whereas I think it's also selfish on that side because people think anyone gives a flying fuck about it. Again, listen, I'm sorry, okay? I don't want to stick on it too much, but I think a lot of people should just know that no one gives a flying fuck, dude. They don't care, okay? They're gonna say, oh, that's cool, and then move on to the next topic, okay? Sorry. Anyways, share that with family. Share that with people you actually know. Maybe, have a few kids and be like, did you know your great great grandpappy was in the war? And then they'll clap their hands and say, oh, we have a great great grandpappy that was in the war. Wow, that's crazy. And then they'll say, oh, cool, don't care. Okay. But anyways, um, yeah, technology good. Technology nice. Technology. Um, what else? There was this one thing when I was a little boy. When I was a little boy, and I was on the internet, I would occasionally go to Imgur. No, I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's a website where you host images and all that. Of course, it's full of memes and stuff, but um, there would always be like one post. It would be like, what was it? This month in science and stuff, and it would list a whole lot of stuff. Well, not a whole lot. It'd have like simplified things that were happening in science, like you know, technology and biology, all that, and astrology, all that kind of stuff. But I've always found it really nice and really cool to see what new technologies are being made and discovered. You know, there's a lot, there's a lot of things where it's like, oh well, we are finally starting to get to the point where we can combine biomass, aka us people, and bio, you know, you know. Hey, sorry, I'm thinking because I think I used the wrong word. Biomechanical would probably be the best because that's probably the best mix of it. But uh, basically, just being able to be a cybernetic kind of person, a cyborg, if you will. And I think that's really cool. It's really nice. It kind of sucks though, because like you you have these movies where it's like, oh yes, he's got the laser arm, he can do anything, right? But a lot of the cybernetic stuff that I've been seeing is like, yeah, I had to wait 12 hours for my arm to recharge. It's like, what? this sucks. I hate this. This isn't like my fantasy at all. I hate this. But I guess that's the whole thing with media. And that's the thing as well. One more thing about that is that the media isn't it's not the end all be all, but I think a lot of people take it as that. And I know I have as well. There's a lot of news things that I've read upon and it's like, oh, yeah. But I think those were intentionally fear mongering, whereas a lot of these movies are simply just trying to show a cool idea off and be like, what if we made robot that think for itself but turn out robot bad? Robot hate us. And we also put guns on robot. Robot angry with us. Robot not want us to live. I think that's really their only intention, but I think it's also produced a mass amount of people that refuse to be cool with technology. you know, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who it's kind of like I don't know how to compare it, but it's like people put up a strong moral front, but then they're just kind of okay with it after a while. You know what I mean? Like there's just a lot of people. I think at least common people. I think there's a few people, out there that if something goes against their morals or something like that, they will actively, try and fight against it in their own personal way, maybe even. But there's a lot of people that I see that are just like, oh, I hate this. This is wrong, man. This is buffed, man. And then like a week later, they'll just be doing the thing that they said they hated, or using some part of that. You know what I mean? And I guess you can't complain too much. I've always heard that it's kind of like how people, what is it? People will complain in this society. We live in a society. No, but there's a lot of times where people are like, can't complain about society while participating in it, but that's just not how it is. I guess it's a very much like, well, I have to still be part of this, even though I don't like it, which I think is a good distinction. I think a lot of people think just because you participate in something that you must enjoy it or that you want to, but I'm very sure a lot of people out there do not go to work because they like it. I'm pretty sure they do it because they need money to pay their bills, because if they don't pay their bills, they're gonna be dead or on the streets or begging, So I think there's a lot of people who can protest something but still take part of it because they have to. But a lot of the things seem more like a luxury. People that are choosing to use their time in something that they were that something that part of that activity is something they went against. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who are like, oh, the chocolate companies, they're using children. They're using up all the chocolate and they're using up all the children. They're making them slaves. They're making them harvest cocoa 1 penny per 1,000 cocoa beans. You know that? And then they'll just go eat chocolate. They'll just be like, I got chocolate today. I got my chocolate strawberry fondue at Michael's, the restaurant. Oh, like
Seems a little hypocritical, don't you think? You're eating that.
you know, I don't know why people do it though. Maybe that's what I do as well. I'm trying to think of situations where I may have done that, where I'm like very much against something, and then I'm like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. Lol, thanks a lot. Trying to think. I don't know. It's always a hard time to self-reflect and be like, you know what? Maybe I was in the wrong. Because either forget about it because it didn't impact you. It's just how you're living life, or You know, you didn't view it as being wrong. But I'm trying to think. A situation where I bitched about something, and then I kind of 180'd and I still did something. I'm not talking like in terms of me disliking a video game and then being like, oh, you know what? It wasn't actually that bad. I think that's just a passing opinion. Because I do that with a lot of video. Something new, it's like, ooh, I hate this, and then I end up loving it. um, I'm trying to think of like morally or through some kind of opinion what might be the issue. I'm just thinking a little. I'm thinking. I'm sure there are some examples. I'm sure if someone was here, they would be able to provide some examples and put me on blast, which I would appreciate. It's like, oh, that hurts, but at least someone's being honest with me that I am not fully invincible from the argument of, oh well, me good man. um, but yeah, I guess it's what, but yeah, that's mostly what kind of brought up the whole AI stuff today or technology. It's just don't like it. It's just hypocritical. A lot of people. The thing that gets me the most, the thing that makes me seethe and hate, is people online being like I've discussed it multiple times, more than I can count. But I guess it was something that was just so impactful to me that being in that moment, I was like, oh, I'm gonna retain this memory forever. I was watching like what is it, Boston Dynamics. Now, if you don't know what that is, they are an institute that is basically trying to make uh, autonomous kind of robots where they will, be able to do something all by themselves without the need of help. And it's not even like beep boop, me step left and then up and then right and then up. It's like a free flow kind of robot. Like it doesn't try and be like, oh, well, I got to take one increment step to the right. It's much more like our walking behavior. And I can't remember which video it was because they got a few videos up. They got a few videos where like they're beating up their robots or pushing them over to make sure they can get back up and continue their pathway and all that. Um, but there's like, I think it was two videos. One was where they have like a dog-like robot, it has like a little arm and stuff like that, and they, it's supposed to help with other stuff. I think it was, what was it? Being able to reach places that regular sized people like us or the other robots they have couldn't be able to reach. But it was just walking in the streets for some weird reason. Um, and I can't remember if it was that one or there's another where again these people they like the big issue, right, is that people don't recognize that these things are set within a parameter. They don't just fucking do this on the fly. They have to be given an order, to do something. You know what I mean? But it was like a dancing video with the robots, just kind of showing how free flow they are and how they can just dance around and stuff. But no, I definitely think it was the video where um the little dog was walking by and he's like, "Oh, bro," you know. Let me see if I can find the video, but um there was a YouTube comment that just it struck me and I was like, no, no, don't do this to me. It was like, I see this thing walking down the street, I'm pulling out my shotgun and I'm shooting it. It's like, dude, shut up, man. Shut up, dude. Let me see if I can find the video. Boston Dynamics dog on the street. Free. There it is. Wait, well, actually, I don't know because. Oh, here we go. Robot dog reported. There's another video that looks like the same thing, but it says the most racist robot in 2035. Well, let me see if I can just play the original. Let's see. Yeah, screen. There we go. Bruh. You see, and like that's all it does. It just walks up, it's like hello, and then it walks off and says bye. And people were in like, obviously it is this because there's only 4 comments, but people were in an uproar. They were freaking angry. They're like, if I see something like this on the streets, I'm gonna shoot it. It's like, dude, why? Why are you doing this, huh? Who did this? Hmm? No. I don't know. I think that's what confuses me. There's also racism. Well, it's a lot of it's just I don't know, interesting to see how humanity like, oh, this is how we're gonna react to this. Meanwhile, we're not gonna react to this one though. I don't know. It's really stupid. But that's just kind of my views on it. If I had it my way, people would be learning about technology. I guess that's the other thing as well, is that people who do understand this probably wouldn't be in a YouTube comment being like, actually, this is how the robot does this, and I think it's okay. You know, I think I think they're pretty busy, actually trying to change the world and make it a better place than getting off work at a construction site, or you know, I guess a better example would be like getting done with their 9 to 5 job, like coming back from the bar wasted, hopping on YouTube while their kids shouting in the other room, fighting, being like, "I hate this robot. This robot sucks." Justy, why did the guy have a southern kind of accent? You care to explain why that's the case? Hmm? You know, listen, listen. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But probably the most widely accepted kind of, you know, that's a dumb kind of speech. What else are we going to talk about? Oh, what? I don't know. I kind of think that's about it with the whole technology. I was gonna look up something. What was it? Trying to think. I'm trying to think here, man. Oh yeah, I was going to go look up the negatives of that. Boston Dynamics. I don't think correctly. Dynamics dog with gun. You know? Let's see. Let's see if anything. Let's see if they're putting up anything with the news. Yes. Robot dog with machine gun hints of a dystopian future. Uh, While Boston Dynamics show off their robots' dance moves, others turn similar looking devices into dystopian killing machines. Robot dogs are taking over the U.S. military. Oh, sorry. They're putting guns on robot dogs now, and that was all the way back in 2021. Yeah. Paintball gun mounted on robot dog. Again, I don't know, like maybe I could fine. I don't want to listen. If you're out there and you're watching this, okay, go look up them like pushing over their fucking robots. You know, I think that's the thing that a lot of people should understand is that first off, there's parameters. I know I've already done the whole parameters thing again and again and again, but I want to reuse it to emphasize that, you know, things need to have a certain parameter in order for it to, work. I don't know, like these robots, these big walking robots, they're not just doing that because, oh, well, I can do a silly dance. Let me go ahead and do a little silly dance. Someone is telling them, hey, do the silly dance. Here's all the information you need. Make sure you don't do this. Make sure you do this. Someone is telling them what to do. You know, but yeah, if you go and you look up any of these Boston Dynamic videos, just do Boston Dynamic pushing over or something like that. Search that up. You'll just get a video of them just pushing the robots over or like just messing them up. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like if you you wouldn't be really using a gun mounted on a dog, as much as it might control a little nicely. I feel like recoil from that thing would affect it. I feel like uh if you ran around in circles, there wouldn't be really a way for that robot to catch up to you. Maybe there will be one day, you know. I know that face tracking is an issue, which I would actually argue is a lot more scarier than AI, because AI is, it's whatever. You have a chance with AI at least. You can be like, hey, listen, let me argue the case, right? Whereas, face tracking, I don't think the government's gonna be like, oh, you know what, you're right, we shouldn't do this. But um, again, you can just like run up on that little robot and just fucking punt it. You can just push it over. You can beat it up, hold it down. Like I don't think a lot of people understand that. Is that you don't need a gun to disable the robot. You can just go up to it and just push it over. Be like, oops, oops, who did that? Oops. No. I don't know. I love technology though. It's so very exciting. I just don't I don't ever want to be on the side where it was like, well, I don't like that. And because I don't like that, we're going to go ahead and stay in the Stone Age, baby. I feel like a lot of people do that, and it makes me sad. A lot of people don't want to progress and to try new things and to try and become better. They they instead are like, oh well, we need to stay reserved. We need to stay how it is. We can't go further. And it is, of course, understandable to tread lightly, to not just be running into something new, being like, this is it, baby, let's go. But I feel like a lot of people, they just they're like, you know, let's kind of mess this up with morals. Like, I don't know. I feel like I guess it's just my opinion, but I feel like there's good, like you can clearly see what the intention is, kind of uh technology or something like that. Whereas, I can understand now that I think about it. It's kind of like Dogecoin or cryptocurrency in general, NFTs. A lot of people were like, "Oh, this is the future, bro." Then they spent all their money in it and they lost all their money. You know? It's it's a very sad thing where something new caught on and people were so gun ho on it that no one asked or stopped to be like, wait, you know, maybe we shouldn't do this. You know, so I suppose I can understand the other side of it. in that, you need to slow down and make sure that the way you're doing things is proper and that you're not just doing it all willy-nilly and possibly messing up the whole future for the rest of us. You know? But I don't know. I feel like if you're smart enough, you could have seen that NFT and crypto stuff is all very much like gambling. Gambling, but there's or at least with like that's the thing with you know Wall Street or the stock market is that at least that's actually affected by a lot of things, whereas NFT and cryptocurrency, you know I'm not too sure how that works, since it is a what are they basing it on? You know, when you buy a stock for Walmart, if Walmart starts releasing a policy where they're like, well, we're going to start shooting children when they walk right into our store, then you can understand, oh, well, there goes my fucking money, bro. Whereas Dogecoin is like, what? Doge, Doge said hello today. Oh, now it's gone. Now it's by. Boo, It's like belief. It's like belief. It's like a religion. The more you believe in it, the better it is. But the less you believe in it, the worse it is. It's like a big old reverse religion, you know. Or no, no, that kind of how it is. That's how it is. The more people have a belief in that, the more power that organization has. And again, that's what I learned. I don't think I had. Did I talk about it last time on the podcast? But um, I had an interview, not really an interview, but it was more that I had Halivin on my podcast, and we do have an opposing belief, which is that I don't believe in any particular God. I'm agnostic. It is very much if God does exist, then cool. If he doesn't, cool. It's very much I'm doing my own kind of thing. Fuck off, mate. Um, Whereas he is very much a Christian. He believes in his God, his way of life. Uh, it was kind of interesting to have him on the podcast. Um, the number one thing is because I didn't, I'm pretty sturdy in my beliefs. He's very sturdy in his. You know, I don't think anything was gonna change with either of us, but he did help me to learn a whole lot. And it was just that people will have a belief in something. It doesn't have to be a god. It doesn't have to be, you know, or I guess let me change it around. It can be a god, it can be an item, it can be a way of life, it can be um, you know, a certain type of people. In some cases, that's how some people got into, the whole Nazi stuff. It's a belief in some kind of ideology or some kind of way of life, I suppose. It's not just religion. That's the that's the whole thing about it. That's kind of what gave me a little bit of a shell shock. And it's I don't like the whole pretty little people who think deep into things. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I'm saying I don't like those people. I kind of recognize that I am being a little bit of one, but I don't like people who are like, you think about it, man. We're all connected on the eternal spectrum of belief and love. And it's like, shut up, man. Shut up. It's not true. That's not how it is. Shut your fucking mouth, man. But um, you know, for me, just being able to understand that a lot of people, uh, it's just a belief. It is a belief in what the world has become. It's a belief in what they want. That is what is powerful and what makes people continue throughout life. I've met people who idolize a video game, you know, who will put it on the topmost pedestal. If you dare try and take it down, they will fight furiously and take you down with them. There's a lot of different things. It's I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't think you can accompany that with any kind of certain uh motivation. Like, you can't be like, well, those people are dumb or those people are very, very smart. You know, it's very much that's just how they are. That is how that person is. That's how they choose to believe. I think that's the real issue is that, or not an issue, but that's the real uh, eye-opening thing is that it's a belief. It is what someone believes, and that you know it's it's not inherently wrong. It's not right. You know? It's just how they see things. Like again, I don't want to. I don't want to get into the whole. Like I don't want to be one of those types that's like, if you believe in love, then truly love will come back to you. But um, you know, and I'm gonna be a little bit. I'm gonna be a little spooky here. But the fact that it's very much belief. You know, how are you supposed to? There's only factual stuff that you can go against someone with belief, but even then, if they believe in something that cannot be bound to, you know, a reality, then they are truly endless in their power to be able to believe into that. You know, like me believing that one day I will get my own digital girlfriend, and it's true because no one can say that it's not true. You can't prove that I won't one day get my digital girlfriend. Uh, what is it? What was my for real point? Oh yeah, I was gonna say that, you know, the sucky thing about it is that it's all about how we came about in life, our own beliefs. We are taught beliefs as we grow up, through both our families, our friends, and our environment. Of course, you know, some countries it is okay to do things that a lot of other countries might not consider okay. You know, it's kind of like how a lot of Americans, they do not mind the food that they eat because that is the food that they were raised with. That is how things are done. Whereas a lot of people over in British land or basically any other country on the world is like, huh, that's kind of that's a lot of salt in that, don't you think? You know, it's because those people were not raised in that kind of environment or those kind of beliefs that it is okay to have that much salt in food. you know, um, and again, it's like in Germany, back in the good old days. No, but uh, back when the war was happening, a lot of people truly did believe in what Hitler was saying. Saying that Jews were not equal or that they were, you know, the cause of issues in Germany. And it's like I I guess I don't know. It's very tough to say again. You know, does a hardcore belief mean that you are less intelligent? You know what I mean? Is is it that you are less open to contradicting or to not that. What is it? You're less open to other ideas or the possibility that you can be contradicted and that you may be wrong. Is that, truly what makes you uh, less intelligent or more intelligent? I would probably argue less intelligent. You don't open your mind up to different possibilities or to different way of thinking. Again, um, I was talking with what was it? I believe it was Charlie who I was talking with. She was kind of telling me how she gets like confused a little bit. Like she gets an internal person inside of her that's just kind of ripping left and right because she's presented with a lot of different points in life where it's like, well, that's you know one point can make sense. Well, meanwhile the other doesn't. I think it was when the whole what was it? The whole Hamas thing turned up. You know, because it's like, oh well, those people. Like, I don't want to get into it. Okay, listen, that's too hot of a topic right now. All right, but um, there is the consideration that, oh well, these people have been kind of sanctioned into a square little hole and they're basically being suffocated. Uh, you know, and then there's the other side of, oh well, they're actually murdering people, they're actually torturing them, not just they're it's not even people who are in the military, they are attacking citizens, which I think with the most recent stuff that's been coming out, it's very much like, oh, Hamas is very much a bad guy. It doesn't matter if they are fighting for the freedom of Palestine. Uh, you know, they are just bad people. You don't do that kind of stuff. But I think it was during that whole thing is when she brought that up, and the number one thing is that you can understand something, but it doesn't mean that you have to agree with it. I think, and I don't really like getting on to the whole, well, that's what makes you smart, and that's what doesn't make you smart, because intelligence is just, it is very much into different areas. Like, I'm gonna bring it up. It's gonna be Blender. I know quite a bit of stuff in Blender compared to other people. I don't know the most about Blender like some people do, but I know quite a bit more than a lot of others. Doesn't you know that doesn't make me smart in general for that. And then there's a lot of stuff that other people know that I don't. Like, I know some general, the general things for a computer, but I don't know the exact you know, what was it? Like, again, you see, that's the issue with being not knowledgeable on something, is that you can't even begin to understand or to kind of go against it. And that's why a lot of people are against AI, is because they only understand the basic um just the it's kind of like when you go to look something up on Google and it gives you the definition. They just have that, they don't have the context behind it or anything else like that, a way that it is used, I suppose. But what was it? I was talking with Ben about how my computer might need upgraded, and he's like, "Oh, you want the yeah? Does your computer have the Bibble Babble slots?" And I'm like, "What? What? Oh, what's a Bibble Babble slot?" Like, "Oh, it's for this. It's for the CPU. You know, you put the CPU in the Bibble Babble slots, and then you connect the connector into the sprinkle." Like, what? Huh? I don't understand this. But um, yeah, there's a big thing about understanding and uh, having your own beliefs. I don't know what made me go on to that. That's basically what I told Charlie, is that you can understand why people do some things, um, but it doesn't mean that you have to agree with them. You know, it's understandable why a lot of people in Germany decided to uh, be believe in the cause that Hitler was doing, because a lot of them were in poverty, or they were there was a lot of Germany was not doing good after the First World War, which is understandable because they got pretty fuffed over with the whole deal and all that. But yeah, it's very much being able to understand versus being able to uh put up your own reason for it. Like, I don't agree with what Hitler did. It seems very much like a cop out. Like, oh well, we gotta blame these people, because if we don't, then we might actually have to recognize our own issues. But um, Yeah, that's the number one important thing that I'll even apply it just to bring the whole podcast back around because I think that's about it. I think technology. Um, I don't want to put belief again because it kind of seems stupid, but we'll probably put it as something probably like learning. I don't know. AI and learning, AI technology, AI and learning about it. There you go. I should probably write that down. But um yeah, that's the big ooh, you know. Uh I can understand why people do not like AI. Um I'll use another, personal example is that uh someone that I talked to, Fox, he absolutely hates AI, It's understandable. He his profession is as an artist, you know. So it's very much like a new threat to him and his work. And he from my understanding, he spends a lot of time doing his art, not in the way of like he procrastinates, but he makes sure that the details are very fine, you know. Takes him a while. And then, you see AI and you type in a few prompts and commands and then boom, got like a 98% beautiful piece of art, that it made in just mere minutes compared to him working days or weeks upon a piece of art. Um, it's very much it's kind of like I don't know. I'll compare it to myself in a moment. I'll be selfish in a moment. Don't worry, baby. But it's a very downtrodden kind of feeling, having basically years that you've put into a profession, and you've gained a lot of experience doing something. You you know this is how you pay your bills. This is how you get money. And then suddenly a new craze is taking over, and it's like, oh, who needs artists now when you can just generate something? you know, it's it's understandable, you know, and I guess because I am not in that position, I can't truly comprehend what it is like. Um, but I think my advice to him was that as long as people are commissioning you, then just don't worry about it. It's obvious that people are still going to want to purchase a handmade. I suppose maybe if I ever talk to him again, my advice, if I can even remember up to that point, will be that yes, people can generate, you know, AI freely, just art left and right, bada bing, bada boom, right? Um, but it's kind of comparable to how, uh, you know, companies can just pump out stuff left and right. You know what I mean? You can get a cake from Walmart for like $6, $12. I don't know. Probably, probably a lot less. But the thing is that what's gonna taste better? Is it gonna be the cake from Walmart that you just picked up off the fly? You know, or is it gonna be the cake that grandma made? Put her blood, sweat, and tears into. Basically, pushed it in your face and said, "You gotta fucking hate this little bitch." You know. I think a lot of people will still be like, you know what? I still enjoy grandma's cooking a lot more. I like grandma's treats a lot more than I do Walmart's. There there is the fear of mass production, but I think as long as you have some kind of audience, some kind of you know, consumer base that understands, you know, your product and what you do, then there should be no need to worry. But then again, I suppose another way to do it is to just stylize your work as well. You know, that is one way to make it where it is, you know, less likely to just be what a lot of people generate, I suppose. But even then, there's a lot of people that make some stylized art, and will have that ripped off, I suppose that's the issue. Um, but what else was I gonna talk about? I was thinking of something. My brain was chugging there for just a moment. Oh yeah, I was going to compare it to myself. Um, there's a lot of people. I do streaming. Hello, I do streaming. Uh, and there's a lot of video content and all that. And the thing is that uh, I don't really have a fear for people, AI taking over streaming or anything like. Um, I suppose it might be different for me because my way of thing is like you have to put in a whole lot of active personality. You have to actually be like, oh yeah, what's that? You had potato salad? Wow, that's so cool. I'm so interested to know that you had potato salad. Wow, um, it's cool. I think it's fine. I think people who will enjoy me will enjoy me. I guess there's also the whole thing where me streaming, it is not what I am relying on. It is not that's not my paycheck. I'm not like, oh man, if I don't make enough money streaming, I'm gonna have to go work at some factory. So maybe it's not such a good comparison, but um, you know, I think I at least enjoy it. Now that I think about it a little bit more, and may affect some people personal to me, you know, it does make me consider what it's like for them. It's not good, but I don't know. There's nothing much you really can do. Again, it's like when something catches on, it catches on. You can't really stop it. You can try, you can even pray and be like, man, please make this go away. Come on. This is some bullshit. You know. But that's the thing is that it's not going to go away. Something has caught on. Something will be happening. And I suppose that the rude, the mean, the brutish kind of answer would be to adapt to it or to be left behind. And that's one of them movie kind of situations where it's like, yeah, I feel good. Let me say an epic quote right now. Well, when let's be honest, it's not like I would say adapt or just be prepared to have a lot of competition. That section, you know? It's it's tough, but I think a lot of people can push through. I for a lot of artists that I follow, uh, they don't really seem to be too bothered by it. They seem to be like, yeah, whatever, you know. But I don't know if that's because uh, they keep their opinions to themselves or if it's something else. I don't know. I follow a lot of stylized artists. They're they're cool. They got funky little dippity doodahs. I think in terms of realistic, you know, I think anime and realistic is what's going to be kind of chopped off there. You know? Maybe cartoons one day. I don't know. You don't really notice cartoons being really uh taken advantage of, or people trying to be like, let's reproduce this, but with AI. It's mostly just like anime styles or realistic styles. I don't know. It will be an interesting future that we take part in. Um, I'm certainly excited for it, even if it does result in worse, worse conditions for a lot of people. Because I imagine a lot of people are going to be replaced via AI. You know, gonna be a lot of people that are like, "Oh, hey, are you still looking for cashier?" What do you mean by cashier? I suppose that's kind of like how it was with self checkout. You know, I can only imagine how many people got booted. You know, life having to do anything because self checkout came around and they're like, well, don't need as many cashiers. See ya. Um, I go shopping at a. I'll give my own personal experience with that. I go shopping at a at a food store. Food store. Um, but then again, I go shopping pretty late at night because it's 24/7, which is really cool. Um, but they will have like one person on checkout, you know, and then they got like 6 stations where you can do self checkout. That's the thing is that it's very sad to see. You know? But there's a lot of other employees that are still working there that are restocking, doing all this other shit. Make that make that happen. No, I'm the type where I would like it if there was less social interaction jobs. I'm a little bit of a loner. I don't want to interact with people. No, but um it's definitely not my strong suit interacting with people. I feel as if I don't know. I don't want to get too much of myself about a this is a podcast. I know I've talked on other episodes of this podcast where I'm like, yeah, and I wonder about friendship. How does that affect me? And I feel like my friendships are very, very particular. I won't, I won't go against that, but this is supposed to be technology, bastard. But I will say that uh, I do question how I come off to new people. I I believe it was Schindler who told me. He was like, "Yeah, I kind of hated you at first." I was like, "Oh." But it was back when I was like a teenager, possibly, hopefully, back when I was truly brutal and honest, and I didn't consider people's feelings, and I was just,
Yeah, I'm epic, bro.
you know, I like to think that I'm a little bit more considerate. I I feel like maybe I get a little spicy with some people though. I know that there's a few times lately where I've been kind of I'm kind of just I kind of have my moments where I just choose to be a little spicy sometimes. Someone will be like, yeah, and I kind of think what was it? I think I was playing a game. I was talking about like moderation on my server or on my stream. I'm like, oh yeah, I wish I didn't have moderators on my Discord or on my stream because I don't like people being empowered, expecting other people to do my work of moderation and all that. And I can't remember who it was genuinely, but someone was all like, "Oh yeah, well I don't want to be a moderator." I was like, "What's a good thing I wasn't offering then?" It's like such a fuck. It's like such an asshole thing. Like if someone did that to me, I'd probably blot out their death and I'd be like, I'm gonna kill this person. Like what an asshole thing to do to someone. They're just being like, oh yeah, no, I wasn't offering to anyone, but thanks for letting me know. I was just like, it was a good thing I wasn't offering. You know, yeah. Listen, I don't do that all the time. That's like the first time in a good while since I've done something. Okay. Last time I remember me doing something like that is when someone was talking about what was it? Someone was all like, "Oh, what are you guys doing for the holidays?" And this was like I think 2 years ago during Thanksgiving time, and they were like, "Oh, what are you guys doing for the holidays? Are you guys celebrating Thanksgiving?" I think I said, and I wasn't even trying to be intentionally rude, but I was like, "Isn't that what most people do?" But because of how my voice is, I don't even know if I said it in uh, that kind of way. Like, I'm sure it was more like, "Isn't that what most people do?" And you hear that from a stranger, not even a stranger, but you hear that from someone, anyone. It's like, what the fuck did I do to you? What? What? I'm not allowed to ask. You know. But yeah, I don't do that too. Okay. Anyways, this is probably the end of the podcast. We're going too much on to myself. You know, I don't like doing that. I know it's my podcast, but the thing is that it needs to not be around me 24/7 and I think this podcast has been helpful for me though. It's very much like a journal, I suppose. I get to read the comments and be like, "Oh, this is what people are saying." By people, I mean one person. But it makes me feel good knowing that some people watch it and they're like, "You know what? This is pretty interesting. I'll go ahead and take a little look see." I don't know how far people get into the actual podcast. Hopefully, they watch at least most of the way before they finally say, "I hate this guy. I hate him." You know what? Do me a favor if you're watching this podcast and you're watching it right now in live TV time or on your phone or any other way, type at this moment, timestamp it and be like spaghetti, just to prove to me that you freaking watched up to this point. Go ahead, go ahead. You know what? You know what? Never mind. Never mind. Don't even timestamp it because then people are just gonna timestamp it. They're gonna click on your timestamp. They're gonna be like, "Oh, he said spaghetti. I better write that out." Don't timestamp it. Just out of nowhere. Listen. Okay. Final ruling. Okay. If you're watching up to this point, type into the comments, "spaghetti." What? Huh? And then bibble babble. There you go. And I'll give it a favorite. Give it a favorite. Give it a like. Give it a favorite. Give it a like. But yeah, I suppose that's it. Uh, I think this was good. Again, I think this has been good. I like this podcast. May not be the best of the best, but makes me feel nice. It makes me feel like I can get my ideas out there. People can just listen to it, unargumented. You know, no one's here to oppose my ideas or to try and, uh, you know, make me believe in theirs. It's all just about me and my ideas. No, but I do like. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm shy or anything like that. I guess it's just I don't want to be one of those types that's like, "Hey, you want to be on my podcast, please?" You know, it feels like shut the fuck up, man. You think you deserve a podcast, huh? Why don't you go die in a hole, idiot? It's like, oh, okay, thank you, sir. Goodbye. I don't know. Maybe I should bring more people on here. I guess the whole point though is that you gotta be a little bit more personal with people. Gotta be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and be, personal. Maybe try and open up. I think that time has passed though. I don't think I have the opportunity for that anymore. Uh, very much. I think I'm at the point in life where if I was ever to have friends, the time has passed. I don't think I hold the ability to try and associate with people. Maybe we'll talk about that in the next podcast. Maybe lowering your defense walls or something like that. Something stupid like that, I'm sure. I think that's just the main issue, though, is that, you know, it's very much, well, if people want to be my friends, they have to put in the effort. But I think that's the idea that everyone carries a little bit. You know, I think everyone is kind of like, well, I don't want to put in the work. Everyone else has to do it for me, bro. But I hope everyone has a good rest of their time. I'm going to go probably make myself some soup. Or no, I'm gonna make some nuggets. You know what? I'm gonna do nuggets because I'm a little nuggy, fuggy kind of boy. But I hope you all have a good rest of your time. I love you all deeply. Um, go check out some more episodes of the podcast. Maybe, oh, I don't know, maybe go watch the first episode and see what it's like compared to this one. Have I gotten better? Have I gotten worse? I don't care. I'm still gonna be doing this forever, or until I'm dead. So, better get used to it, slut. I mean, huh? Okay. But yeah, I love you all. Uh, Thanks for watching my podcast. My podcast. My podcast. And bye bye. Oh.